How's everybody doing today? We're getting ready for a really, really good Pittsburgh Steelers defense at the top of the league statistically in just about every category. You look at the numbers, that's one thing. Then you turn on the film and you can understand why. I mean, they got really good players, great players at every level of their defense. Start with Hayward on the inside, forced to be reckoned with. And then T.J. Watt as an outside linebacker position, generational player. And then you move into Fitzpatrick at the safety position. And then you got Porter at the corner position, playing at a super high level, well-coordinated, experienced defense. So we're really excited about this challenge. And here we are in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I'll tell you what, our staff has done an amazing job of getting us up and running as if we were back at the Bolt. And it's really, really been great. So any questions?
You've obviously been to Pittsburgh a number of times, played there, with the Ravens. What's been sort of the message to the group about playing in that stadium, playing against this defense, playing against the Mike Tomlin team?
Oh yeah, I mean they're really well coached. Tons of respect for Coach Tomlin and their organization. But for us, it's another stadium. It's the next one on the list, and they got great fans. It's going to be loud, so we got the crowd noise pumping. I'm sure you heard at practice, and it'll be an exciting atmosphere. Looking forward to it.
You sort of said let's find out what we're made of, heading into a place like that, playing a team like that. Is there anything like that for you as far as what this test is going to be like for your group?
Well, I mean these guys are a tremendous defense, and it's an exciting challenge. I think we all look at it that way. I mean, we have tons of respect for what they are, who they are, and what they do. And we just got to keep preparing and go chase it on Sunday.
Have you ever had a guy like Scott Matlock in that, the role he's playing in fullback and on defense and special teams? Have you ever had a player like that?
Yes, I have actually, a couple of them. Going back, but. Yeah, Scott has got a lot on his plate, and it's amazing how he's handling it. I can't speak enough about how diligently he's preparing, and he's getting better every week. But, man, how impressive is that? I mean, he's in offensive meetings early this morning, to defensive meetings, to special teams meetings, back to the defensive meeting, back to the offensive walkthrough. So it's a great testament to him.
I mean, I guess you just said you are impressed, but did you expect him to get it down that quickly, like the way he's been, how effective he's been through the first two games?
At some point, you have to just say, we got to do this at some point, right? And you got to do that. And you try not to overload him, but you definitely try to push the envelope and try to do this with what you're asking of him.
Who are does he remind you of some of those guys you've had previously? You said you had a bunch of them. Does he remind you of anyone who's made that?
Yeah. Will Tukuafu, Pat Ricard, all those guys.
Is there something specific about him that you were like, we can put this amount on his plate, like he can handle?
Yeah, I mean, it really starts with the defensive coaches. Jesse and Mike in the spring said, hey, you need to look at him. He's really smart. He's athletic and bend. All that stuff. So you don't have to ask us twice.
Where's he at, in terms of, what you ask him to do, how he executes it?
25% and moving up, but his 25% is a lot of people's 85%, if that makes any sense.
Coach, what are the biggest areas of improvement you saw from the offensive line from week 1 to week 2?
Well, I think across the board, I think there was a lot of improvement, which we really harped on, and really, I think everybody embraced that idea that we really needed to make a lot of progress. And we feel that way this week as well. But really in every phase, run blocking, communication, pass protection, it was an improvement. And, I really like some of the things those guys did in the game. So, it's just something to build on. And I think those guys should take a lot of pride in how they performed.
Trying to
So just as far as Joe's concerned, 2 weeks down, you get Max Crosby, week 1, T.J. Watt, week 3. Pretty tough test for a rookie. In terms of just Joe specifically, what have you seen through the first 2 weeks, and where can you get to?
Yeah, I mean, I think the potential's limitless. I was with Jonathan Ogden many years ago, and he has a chance to touch that stratosphere. But that's a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience away. Right now, he is battling every day to get everything down, learn. Empirical data is the best data, and his ability to learn from experience has been great so far. Like his ability to file things away, move on to the next thing, very big. And then as far as Crosby week 1, now you got T.J. Watt. I mean, hey, Merry Christmas, I mean, it doesn't. I mean, come on. So, yeah, Watt's a great player.
Just you back in February when you talked about the identity you wanted with the offensive line, you talked about being strong and physical. Mm-hmm. To have a performance like that, like they did in week 2, where they're moving people, they're finishing blocks. What kind of confidence does it give you in what you're building? What kind of confidence do you think it gives the group up front as far as what they can be in the running game?
Yeah, I mean, you can't fake confidence. It's either real. There's no such thing as fake confidence in the NFL. So in order to get it, you have to do it. So that's what you're always chasing. And every week it's a new challenge. So, we put that game to bed. We learned from it. And I think there was an understanding of, okay, I can start to see this. But it's back to work, and let's keep climbing that ladder. Let's get back to the basics.
Have you noticed, I know you weren't here, but as we go back, it feels like there's a nastiness in this group coming out of that game, and I'm just reading body language specifically from like Rashawn. Have you noticed that this group's getting a little saltier through 2 weeks and a little bit nastier from what you've asked them to do?
I mean, I think Rashawn's a perfect gentleman, and I saw him carrying some groceries of some elderly woman across the street the other day. But no, yeah, they definitely try to play with an edge. You have to. It's just so competitive. It's so tough. And, it's just something we want to keep building on. And the more people that you can get involved in that mindset, the better. And, I do believe it can be, yes. Yep. And, but it's this is a week-to-week league. And, it's a good thing. It's a really good thing to be building on.
With Rashawn, just sticking with him for a second, were you aware that he was like capable of doing that in the run game based on what you had seen on film and being around him, or was there something about that performance, the physicality that he had, that maybe surprised you?
No, I mean, I think we definitely saw the dreaded P word, the potential for that. I mean, really in the spring, it's like, man, this guy can really be a complete player, like really, really good. And I think he's been a very good player. So I just think he continues to improve, and he's played really well thus far. So hats off to him. Let's keep it going.
Why is the P word dreaded for you as a coach? Like usually people think that's a good thing.
Oh yeah, I mean, but potential means you haven't done it yet, and so we're all about doing it. So it's always that process. Yeah, good question.
So, something Jim was talking about earlier is just he's so impressed by the way Justin processes information, disseminates information for you to have a quarterback of that type of IQ. I know you've worked with a lot of great, smart quarterbacks. Just what does that do for you as a play caller and what you're allowed to do?
Oh, it's great, the interaction on a weekly basis. It's real collaboration. I think it'll grow more and more as we go, too. A lot of this was getting this new system in. You can't sit around and debate everything. You got to get it in and then tweak it accordingly, through just day-to-day working through things, So I think really excited about what that process is going to look like from now moving forward.
You were talking about making sure you're tailoring your offense to showcase your players' talent, something obviously Justin does great. That amazing arm talent for you when you're trying to run the ball as much as you do. Is there something about the way a quarterback operates in the running game that maybe people don't understand? Like he has talents.
Oh, yeah.
To make the running game go that
sure.
People don't get. Like what are some of those things that he's low-key good at in terms of making the running game go?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not going to give away how we do things necessarily, but he's heavily involved in play selection and what we might end up running at times. So that's a big responsibility on a quarterback, and the guys that can do that, can really help enhance everybody else's opportunities. So, and the team's opportunity. So he does that amazing job with that. And then, our vision is, we get the run game going and the complementary play action pass and the ability to throw the ball down the field when we can, or just check it down with numbing repetition underneath. That's what we're chasing. That's the vision.
Because JK is obviously doing things historic individually for this franchise and maybe, for the NFL. We're not talking about Gus a lot. If you look at the carries and they're there, like how would you describe the job that Gus is doing, what you ask of him, and how that's being executed?
That's great. It's really good. I think Gus feels like he's getting better every week. He's working through some things in training camp, and he is a sledgehammer hitting the defense, and that's you can't measure that on a sheet of paper. You know what I mean, or a computer screen. He is coming downhill. He's doing his thing, and he's a big physical back, and he's just going to get better and better as the year goes on. But he's really, that 1-2 punch is huge, and he does some of the dirty work at times, and that opens up some opportunities for his teammate, and things will flip here and there as we go. But yeah, he's doing a great job.
You looked at fullback on that block for JK.
Man, that was awesome. That's the kind of unselfish player he is, Nobody was happier than him on that play. Matlock had a hell of a block on that play too.
What is it? What is it about? Yeah, I feel like, look, I'm old. I feel like I've been watching this Pittsburgh defense for 40 years, and it hasn't changed. And yet we see different coordinators and different defense. Is that accurate? And how are they able to do it? And what is the challenge to overcome it? Because otherwise, it wouldn't be what it is.
Yeah, I mean, they have a multiple defense, and they've got different personalities. And really, the last 6-7 years, they've added different personalities based on whatever reason they may have needed. So they've got a lot of different little things they can do. Essentially, it's the same base system as they put in 1991, but it's evolved some for sure. They do it really well. They know it really well, and that's a great example of just a generational defense.
From your vantage point, when you look at like Justin and Jim's relationship, do you? I mean, what do you think of it? Like, what do you make of their relationship? And do you see them bringing things out of each other, like, throughout the season?
Yeah, I think they have a really, really good working relationship. I think, I think that any relationship, it's going to evolve and grow as you go. But I think it's great. I mean, they're talking about things all the time, and they go back and forth on things. They're not afraid to have, pertinent conversations about things, and they're two very authentic people, two very, very good, talented people that have a great working relationship. So I think it's just going to get better and better as we go. And, it's great right now, but it'll keep getting better.
You spent last year out of the game. Like, did you intend that you would get back in so quickly?
Oh, of course, yeah, I did. I got to spend a lot of family time and do a lot of little football projects, which was good.
What about it did you miss?
I mean, the winning locker room, that's the best part of this.
Did you learn anything specific about yourself or like where the game was going?
Yeah, I definitely tried to look at it from 10,000 feet, and really take a look at what's going on and why things are happening, and what's causing all that. So it was very enlightening.
What did it look like from 10,000 feet? What did you learn from up there?
I can't say on some of that stuff, but nah. I mean, I think there was definitely some trends forming last year, and you could kind of see why. And I think, but it was really good, really beneficial.
How happy were you for Q after the game on Sunday?
Oh man, I love it. Q, Quentin, that was awesome. That's one hell of a corner he beat on that play in the end zone on the go ball, and two touchdowns, ringing the cash register twice, which was awesome. Just really happy for him. And then again, I thought it was a great breakthrough for him, and we just got to keep that thing going. His mindset, his attitude's been amazing, all camp and whatnot, and he finally got some opportunities to make it happen. And I thought he made some key plays in the first game too. So he's doing great, and we just got to keep him coming. And I'm really excited about Quentin. It's amazing to have a guy like him.
What did you trends like when you look at the league, like trends that you were looking at this year? There's passing yards are down, passing touchdowns are down, kind of running the attempts and numbers are up. Like, what as a coordinator, do you look at that stuff, and what do you make of that trend? And
Yeah, I mean, I think I have a pretty good grasp of it, but I really don't want to share it. But I think there's some real obvious reasons why everything's happening the way it is, and it'll eventually change.
What'd you make of Justin's turnovers?
Yeah, I mean, anytime we turn the ball over, we're not happy. So from the game, that's a good takeaway from the game. One of the things we can get better at, just protecting the ball. But yeah, I mean, I thought we overcame them well, came back, got back on track. But yeah, we want to protect the football at all costs.
Did you feel like he was pressing it all in those situations? Because historically, throughout his career, he's been very good at protecting the football. It's maybe been one of the best parts.
Oh yeah, and he still is, and he still will be. Yeah, I would just say a blip on the radar.
With tight ends, this week too with Will, it almost felt like we were kind of watching a little Stanford stuff with what he's doing. How is that relationship coming along with how you want to use the tight ends, and specifically with him, because he's such a good blocker, and his involvement in that passing game?
You talking about Will?
Yeah.
Yeah, he made some really good catches. Got us really key first downs last week. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a work in progress, and those guys have to be able to do a lot of different things, Swiss Army knife style. And he's a guy that can do. He's very utilitarian in that regard. He can do a lot of different things. So all those guys, man, we want to get everybody involved. Receivers, tight ends, backs. We'll continue to keep evolving and coming up with some stuff, getting all these guys. But I think the tight ends are ascending.
I was talking to you, Stanford, not Will, obviously Washington, but just can you bring stuff just because of the hashes and how the game's a little different? Have you been able to bring some of that stuff that you did back then?
Oh gosh,
to the
yes.
NFL? It
Yeah, right.
Still applies.
Straight from Stanford, 2 miles away to San Francisco. Oh yeah, and then here, there, and everywhere. So yeah, there we go. But yeah, I think some of those the characteristic, the principle of that style. I think it's timeless, and it may. You got to work within what your players' skill sets are and what they do well. So, but I do think we're improving in some of those areas.
Just with Joe, you got him pulling on a few more plays in this game than week one. Was that just a game plan thing, matchup thing, or was that you sort of maybe building out, how much he's doing?
Everything's a game plan thing. Yeah, everything's a week to week game plan thing, and that's what that was. So this week, I think we got some different stuff that will be game plan specific as well. And next week as well.
Is there anybody that you've had at tackle that can move the way he does when pulling at that size of 6'9"?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty remarkable. His ability, his twitch. Jonathan Ogden again was a guy that could move really well too. I think Joe might be he's not as big as Jonathan, like big, but I think he might be move a little bit fleeter. Jonathan Ogden, one of the greatest players in the NFL history, so that's some rarefied air I'm throwing him in. That's a little too early for that, but no, he can move. It's impressive.
And then you got into the zone read with Justin. Just as far as using him as a runner, we obviously saw when he was at Oregon, like the Rose Bowl, what he sort of has, and we've seen it throughout his career. When he put up 90-plus yards against the Steelers the last time the Chargers played them. When you look at him in the running game using QB read, that kind of stuff, do you want it to be more of a sprinkling, or is there a possibility that you could, depending on his health, obviously, that could be something that you major in a specific game?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of the possibilities are endless. He's an amazing athlete, big, strong, fast, and I thought he handled that play really well last week. It certainly wasn't the outcome I was expecting on the play, but he said, "I'm taking this thing," and he took it. So I thought it was a really productive play on his part, and you know, from a scheme standpoint, I think it's definitely something that's there, but we'll kind of decide when we decide to push that button.
And when you say you didn't expect it, why not?
I mean, because on that play, that was kind of his decision on the field, whether he wanted to hand it off or keep it. That's all.
So you just didn't think he would keep it, or what? Like it wasn't actually a read option play.
No, it was.
Okay.
It was. As far as that's the rumor. I can't confirm that.
You just didn't think that he would.
I didn't think the outcome would be what it was. I
More
did.
surprised at that outcome or JK's flip into the end zone?
Nah, JK's flip, that was pretty sweet. But, yeah, no. Moving on.
I don't know if I'm going to get to the bottom of this, but why? Because the edge did crash down.
Mm-hmm.
He had it seemed like it was probably the right decision based off what the edge.
I mean, I thought the outcome was outstanding.